Hello, everyone. I was just on Ethan's stream to launch his Inkline variants of Red Planet, Cyberfrog 2, which is a great comic, by the way. If anyone hasn't gotten it, you really got to get it. It's arguably, I'd say, probably Ethan's best work. And I've read, the Green Lantern and Flash and all those other comics, even X-Men stuff, but this is just something that really, really good. I had a great time with those guys. When I went on, the mic was all jacked up. I guess it's not that bad now, but I don't know what the hell happened. Amoral Fat 40 ounce. How's it going, man? Just want to pop in for a minute or two since I have this set up here. I got to get some stuff done late into the night, but I just want to check in with CG, see how everyone's doing. Hello again, Michelle. How's everyone doing? Having a good time? Glad you're here. Thanks. Yeah, I just wanted to mention that I have. Where is it? I'm sorry. I gotta find it. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, guys. I did want to mention again that I'm down to 3 copies of Peaceful Death Threats, Volume 2. Square bound. 78 pages, this one. 78 pages. About 400 death threats with running commentary by me. It's all in red. And Muhammad drawn as all kinds of celebrities, actors, wrestlers, Star Trek, musicians, a lot of musicians. Check this page out. I also have this one. There's a lot of wrestlers here too. I got these wrestlers. And then I got these musicians. I got Larry David in there. Has anyone seen Larry David season 9? I think it's season 9. Fatwa. The season with the Fatwa. I mean, if you haven't seen that, you got to watch it. It's so good. It's so good. I mentioned before, but I'll mention it again. He does a play called Fatwa. I guess he writes it. And the Ayatollah from Iran sends a fatwa on him. So he goes into hiding, fake beard, I think fake hair, glasses, all that, right? And then he's told to go visit the master of having a fatwa on him, Salman Rushdie. Salman Rushdie played himself in there. Larry David goes there and talks to him, and at one point, Salman Rushdie tells him, look at you. What are you doing? What are you doing wearing this stuff? He goes, don't be a pussy, okay? And then he basically told him the benefits of having a fatwa. One of the great benefits, according to Salman Rushdie, was that you get fatwa sex. He goes, there's no sex like fatwa sex, which is hilarious. Meaning the women really fancy you if you're a wanted man. And it's just hilarious. Alistair Hill, thanks for being here. I got Muhammad in here breakdancing, popping, if that's what you called it back then. I got Muhammad as, what's his name? Mick Jagger and Keith Richards. And then here, I got one guy telling me here, just 1 second, guys. He goes, ooh, rascal. They call me rascal. Ooh, rascal, stop doing this. You bullshit. We will destroy. This is, I'm reading this right here. This one. This is one of the threats. He goes, we will destroy all of your Holland. Now, it's so funny. They think I'm in Holland. They think I'm in Germany. They think I'm in Poland. They think I'm across the entire world. So, which is fine by me. Good. We are Muslims and are able to destroy you. And then he puts emojis. He goes, me, a single Muslim, will kill you for this bad act. And then I drew myself as Michael Jackson. I'm bad, again, because they called me bad here earlier on, and I just repeated it. Yeah. So one of the guys says, I kill you soon, Mujahid. Your life, few days. Okay. This message save your mind. two mujahid come on Hilland and kill you. Very bad. You are very bad. I said, you know I'm bad. I'm bad. You know it. That was, what's her name? What's her name? That singer? Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish. So this is, Amoral Fat 40 Ounce. I saw every episode. Yeah, I thought the final season was a little weak, but still good. Yeah, same here. Not a great finish. I was expecting to be better, but still good. But the standout for me was that fatwa thing, because first of all, it's funny, cringy and all that, and balls. Larry David showed he has balls. However leftist he is, however liberal and stupid he is, he showed he has a pair. And he mocked this enemy in the heat of it all. I mean, they could have actually put a fatwa on him just for that series, just for that season alone. So the guy is hilarious. I mean, he's really funny. And in addition to all these Muhammad cartoons, all these death threats, 400, I have also what David Horowitz called my manifesto, which is my Draw Muhammad manifesto. I think I might actually at some point read some of my articles on my channel. Just read them, discuss what I was thinking and so on, stop here and there. I think it's worth it because I don't write many articles, but when I do, it's clearly I have to write it. Something that really, I feel very motivated to do because it's not my natural form of expression. My natural form of expression is comic books, cartoons. That's what it is. But when I have to put in, because some things just do not say it better than an article. They just can't. And on SoundCloud, you can listen to a few of my articles as well. No problem, Michelle. Thanks for your support. I hear you. It's a tough time for a lot of people. I hear you. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, thank you for your support. I do appreciate it. Anyone who ordered the Volume 2 Mom Cartoons will be getting them shipped out tomorrow. So you'll get it this week. Thanks. Appreciate it. All right, guys. I just wanted to mention that one last time. I got to get going. I got to get to work. It's not going to be an all-nighter, but it'll be late. I got a number of pencils to do for my current project, and it's going really, really well. I'm very happy with it. It's like, I don't know. I don't understand this idea when I hear artists sometimes like, I don't really like my work. I don't get it. I love my work. I love doing it. Yeah, I want to get better and better, sure. I even heard Shane talk about it. Shane Davis talking about, like, he was talking about, I think it was one where he snapped on Eric July for some bullshit he pulled. And he was, tearing into himself a bit in terms of his art. Look, again, I'm slowly reading his comic, Inglorious Rex, and it's really good. The art's really good. And it looks like it's very interesting. The setup seems very interesting. I'm really into it. So I understand people can get hard on themselves. And sometimes your early art, you look at it like, shit. I don't know. At a certain point, if you're giving your best effort, you got to give yourself not a pass, but you got to say, okay, look, at that time, I gave it all my all. Live with it, good. And if you can have a chance to collect those things and improve them after the fact, sure, why not? Why not? It's always, I don't know, we do this, and this is flat out true. And this is what I mentioned on the first Trashcast which was March of last year, I believe, 2024. I believe my first episode that I came in. And I asked the question, I said, would you go hungry? Would you go hungry to make comics? I've gone hungry. I know some of the kings clearly have gone hungry. I mean, why would you, well, it's easier ways, make a living. We have to do this. We have to. I have to. I have to do this. I have to write and draw. That's it. And if I get some benefits on top of that, awesome. That's great. But it is a compulsion. You do feel that you have to, and you have no choice. Of course you do, but the feeling is, I'm not talking about the intellectuality of it, but the feeling is, I have to do this, no matter what. And the same for Muhammad cartoons. I have to do this. These bastards are threatening the lives of cartoonists over goddamn cartoons. Fuck them. Draw Muhammad. And if I got to draw him 700 times, I got to draw him 700 times. Let me just show you one quick thing, and then I'll read a few more comics, and then I do got to get going. It's just fun stuff, man. This was, if I'm not mistaken, I hope I'm right, Captain Lou Albano. Captain Lou Albano. And it's a semi-realistic version here, and then the more cartoony, and so on, and so on, and so on. As Muhammad. He had a rubber band, where did he have? On his cheek. That's what I remember. I don't know how he put it in there, but he had a rubber band on his cheek. So for some reason, because I've drawn Muhammad so many times now, I'm like, damn, how can I draw him differently? And then I asked myself, oh, okay, I can wrestlers, music, and then Star Trek and Star Wars and so on and so on. I got the Beatles here. I got what's his name? Drexel from True Romance. Gary Oldman, the pimp with the dreadlocks, who thought he was black, and that's him as Muhammad. And every so often, when the threats overtook the page, sometimes I had them fit. They basically got in touch with the physicality of the Muhammad cartoon, and they're stabbing him. And I blamed the guys who were threatening me for making Muhammad cartoons. I said, but instead you stabbed Drexel Muhammad with your threat, because the guy says, wait, I kill you. Your mother is bitch, you dog. Some of these, again, believe it or not, these are the best of the best, because some of them are so boring. It's like they suck. So these are the best of the best death threats out of the thousands that I've gotten. I remember me and my friend Robert Spencer, the great Robert Spencer, who's written now a little under 30 books, most of them against Islamic jihad, Sharia law, Islamization, Islamophobia, quote unquote, and all this stuff. And we were making a little joke, like competing about who gets more death threats. And I told him, I said, I got you on that. But the only reason why, I believe, is that he writes these very intellectual books, these great, information-packed books. If you want to have a good understanding of Islam and jihad, if you're not going to get them all, at least get the Politically Incorrect Guide to Islam by Robert Spencer. It's the primer of primers. That's the one. Anyway, so I told him, I said, the reason why I think I get more death threats is because my cartoons are instantaneous. A Muslim doesn't have to know English or any language. He sees it and he wants to kill. Whereas they have to go through Robert's books. They're not going to read. They're as illiterate as a lot of them at least, they're as illiterate as their founder, Muhammad, which is why the Quran is illiterature, which is why it's tough to read at times. It's deathly boring, mind-numbingly boring, and repetitive beyond belief. But let's see. Okay. Let's see, guys. Thank you, Michelle. Enjoy them. And let me know what you think also. I think you got Volume 1 and 2 this past week or two. Thank you. Alice here said, did you ever do cartoons for Charlie Hebdo? I haven't. But I did do... Let me try to find it here, actually. I did do a commemoration cartoons for them. And I drew a cartoon having to do with Charlie Hebdo in 2012, 3 years before the atrocity happened, when their offices got firebombed. And I drew Muhammad, a bloody red Muhammad, like dripping blood, with a Hitler mustache. I think it might have been one of the... No, it wasn't the first one, no, because I did it before. But one of the ones that took off, as in... Here, Wilders shared it and others shared it, and it got a little wildfire online because I was incensed that these, they were liberals and leftists, the Charlie Hebdo guys, but they understood the issue of free speech is, without it, we're nothing. We're the same shit as any dictatorship, any Islamic hellhole. And they understood that in a fundamental level, and that's why, regardless of whatever I think of them, they have balls and they had the right fight. And they paid the ultimate price for it. But I didn't do that. But I did do... Let me see if I can find it. Okay. I did do this. I made like half a dozen, maybe even longer, some 7 or 8 commemorations of the Charlie Hebdo massacre. And this was one of them. And it was putting my name there, right? My name, like the Charlie Hebdo one. and commemorating the Charlie Hebdo massacre 8 years later. It's Muhammad licking a sword. So that was in homage to them. I also did another cover drawing their Muhammad like them, similar to them cover, but I put black ink like drenched across it, like blood. That was another commemoration. I did a number of those. So no, I never did any cartoons for Charlie Hebdo. And they, at least one of their editors publicly expressed the idea that, oh no, it's like, it was very snooty. Oh no, we're very different than what they're doing. Very different. It's like, okay, whatever. I respect them. It's horrific what happened to them. And to this day, I will still commemorate them. January 7th. And 2 days. January 7th. 2 days. 2015. I just can't believe it. I can't believe how long. Wow. It'll be 10 years. That, and then 10 years since I won the Muhammad Cartoon Contest. Hard to believe. It's really hard to believe. Months later, after the Charlie Hebdo massacre. It just hit me right now. A decade since my life has been flipped over. Pork Hunt says, Hail Bosch. Thanks. Hail Pork Hunt. Did you notice Jim Shooter's Define Schisms crossover is finally getting published? Whoa, I didn't know that. That is awesome. That is awesome. You know what? Let me look that up right now because I love Jim Shooter. I loved those Defiant and Valiant books. That is awesome. Kickstarter, let's see. I want that guy to do very visible work. Whatever he's doing for himself to keep going, that's great. I just want to see him out there producing his own stuff. I mean, damn, Jim, I was able to connect with him and sent him my Pigman and he liked it. And I put a little blurb. I asked him if I could use blurb. He said, sure. That, on top of that, he's great at what he does and he's got balls. I would love to see him take, well, it looks like now that's what he's doing. That is fantastic, man. So is it going to be wow. Let's see. Is it a new thing that they're going to finish the story? Plasm? If you know Pork Hunt, let me know. Is it going to be Warriors of Plasm? Is it going to be that entire storyline with a new story? Anyway, let me know. And I am very interested. Love Jim Shooter. We'll follow him wherever he goes. He started a blog a number of years ago. Something happened. I think John Byrne got butthurt about something and started maybe talking about lawsuits. And unfortunately, Jim Shooter was out there online making blog posts, talking to fans and stuff. And I loved it. I loved being part of it. And then, out of nowhere, just shut down. Bar Stewart says, have you seen what they have been doing in the UK? I have. I've been keeping tabs on it, and it's unacceptable for a civilized country to do that to itself. Unacceptable. I'm sorry. 1 second, guys. Okay, I'm good. I always get these notifications from Google in terms of, hey, something was a little off here. And their way of dealing with that is to knock you out, to knock you off your ass, off the, off your platforms, which sucks. I have been seeing it, Bar Stewart, and when that bastard chief of police, I forgot his name, but that little schmuck, that little small-looking guy, was on TV telling foreigners, particularly Americans, basically, this is the gist of what he was saying. If you get out of line, if we don't like what you're posting online, we're going to extradite you into the UK and maybe imprison you. And I just took that opportunity to draw him as Muhammad Hitler. I drew him as Muhammad with a turban and Hitler mustache. And then I made a video on my YouTube channel, which might be the reason why my YouTube channel was bombed, nuked, and then brought back after the fact. They said it was a mistake. Bullshit. I drew Muhammad, in real time. Check it out. It's Free Speech Forever, I believe it's called. And it was my protest against this, the savagery, and I mean this, of the UK government. These leftist savages doing to their citizens these horrific crimes. They're committing crimes against their citizens while they allowed, obscene crimes to be taking place in the UK by Muslims against young children. The mass rape. My God, it's unreal. Anyway, I've seen it, and it's you got to get them out of power. And this Nigel Farage, he's not going to do it. That piece of shit. He said something like, basically, he says you're going to have to accept Islam. That's it. Deal with it. No, bitch. No. Anyone who's here doesn't belong here. Get the fuck out. And also, you cannot practice your religion in ways that violate our laws, civilization's laws. You can't do that. And instead, he wants to submit to it. Nigel Farage, no. And he also trashes Tommy Robinson, who was the only guy with balls in the UK who actually brought attention to this. And now Elon Musk is saying, free Tommy Robinson, free him. And I don't want to hear the fucking bullshit about, yeah, Tommy, on a technicality, he did this crime. Shut up. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. The criminals are in the UK government. Tommy's not the criminal here at all. Enough. Alex says, in my favorite film, True Romance, Tony Scott, great director indeed. And it was very entertaining. I mean, I remember seeing it years ago. And also, again, that scene, Dennis Hopper, I've never seen Dennis Hopper better. And I was never sold on Dennis Hopper as this great, actor, director. I wasn't. I thought it was fine. He had the pedigree of being on set with James Dean twice, Rebel Without a Cause, Giant, getting to pick up stuff from him. He was a kid. He was 6 years younger than James Dean. He was 18. And he talked about one time he was really observant of James Dean. He wanted to know what James Dean was doing because he thought he was the best actor in the world, right? That's what an 18-year-old does. And he had James Dean for a moment to himself, and he threw him in a car and said, I want to know what you're doing. Tell me what you're doing. And the gist was that James Dean told him, look, don't act. Be natural. If you're smoking, just smoke. If you're drinking, just drink. Don't act like these things. It was a simple little observation there. And there's truth to that. I mean, you can see when actors are acting. You can see when they're as natural as can be. And James Dean went from, he was on TV shows for like 30 something times. Only half of them have survived in terms of that anyone can view them. But you could tell the progression from those things, and he was always had a quality about him. But finally, East of Eden, Rebel Without a Cause, Giant, in particular, his ability. That one scene where he strikes oil. I mean, if you haven't seen that, check it out. It's worth watching. Just that 10-minute moment, that 5-minute moment. It's fantastic. But yeah, I don't know if Dennis Hopper was ever better than in that scene with what's his name, Christopher Walken. He was great. And it's funny. Supposedly, Quentin Tarantino said he was thinking about taking that scene out because it was too good. It was like it dominated the movie. I think it did too, because the movie's fine. It has great moments here and there and character bits here and there, but that scene was so well written, so well executed, so well acted that it dominated the movie, to me, and probably others, because that's the clip that goes out there on YouTube, and you haven't seen it. And also it brings in the whole thing about the Muslims and the Moors and the blacks and going into Italy and impregnating them and raping them and wiping out the culture and all that. It brings all that to a head as well, and there's truth to that. Porkon says, I also have Romanian ancestors and wondering why the West paint Dracula in such a bad light he turned the region into a bulwark against Muslim supremacy. That is the story, no doubt about it. There is truth in that. He did fight the Muslims. I guess, that's the thing. It's just they wanted to take that symbol and turn it into good fiction, horror, make it entertaining. That's really it. I don't think it's just a smear of the Vlad. I don't think so. Vlad the Impaler. I wish someone would write Vlad's story from the perspective of protecting the region. I would love to see that. I'd love to see that. That could be a hell of a movie. And you know what? It's inevitable. I will say this on record. It's inevitable that movies will take on this savage enemy at some point. It will, because it has to. Movies were taking on our savage enemies in World War II, and so on and so forth, and the Russians. It's inevitable. The only thing they came close to was taking on some elements of 9/11, something like that hack, what's his name? Oliver Stone made a movie about 9/11. Didn't show the crash. He made it look artistic with the shadow of the airplane going across buildings. Like, no, this is a horrific atrocity. Why would you want to be antiseptic? You want to show the horror, and I don't mean explicit horror. You don't have to show the explicit stuff. No, blood and guts. You have to show the people falling from the towers. You have to show the horror on their face. You have to show the reportage that was chaotic at that point. You should. But it's inevitable that there will be movies, plural, taking on its enemy honestly. Honestly. It's inevitable. And once that happens, the gates will be open to the point where this enemy soon after will be defeated. There's nothing like art to galvanize the people. Nothing. Nothing. It gets you emotionally, it gets you talking, it gets you confronting truths in ways that maybe a book wouldn't. On the bookshelf, a nonfiction bookshelf about these truths. There's something about a great movie, well done, telling a massive truth that has to be told. There's something about that. Is it going to be Pigman? I don't know. I mean, will it? I don't know. Give me a director with balls, and please. I've had 2 studios interested in my Pigman story to adapt it. Both fell through, but there's interest because they know this could be an entertaining movie on top of that. Besides everything else, it could be entertaining as hell, and it could be. So yeah, I would love to see a Porkon as well. Absolutely right. Yep. Alistair says, Hans Zimmer jingle, you're so cool throughout the performance. Did Hans Zimmer make that? Wow. That's so cool. That is so cool. Have you ever drawn a Grand Mufti of Palestine? Yes, I did. Yes, I have. I drew him alongside many other quote-unquote Palestinians in a pamphlet called Voices of Palestine. And I tried to get the Freedom Center to put Palestine in quotes, and they wouldn't do it. I told them, I gave them my reason why, and they wouldn't do it. It was unfortunate. But I drew dozens of these rat bastards, the horrific things they said and wanted to do. And in their faces, and I drew the Grand Mufti of Jerusalem. I did. Yes, 10 years. 10 years. In May 3rd, 2015 is when I was announced as the winner of the Mama Cartoon Contest. And 5 months before that, the Charlie Hebdo Massacre. 5 months before that, Charlie Hebdo Massacre. January 7, 2015, May 3rd, 2015. Whew, what a year for me. Flat out, my life just flipped completely. What my life was then and now, 2 different things. Okay. Porkon says, the issues were all illustrated at the time by Lapham, but never got published because of bankruptcy. So, are you telling me that there is unseen art and story from those days that they're going to publish for the first time? And Janet Jackson's going to color? I mean, scripting from Jim's plots. And so Janet Jackson will be scripting from Jim's plots. Because they were close as well. I wonder why Jim Shooter's not doing it. I would love to see that, but hey, I'll take what I can get right now. I'm there. Wow. That is so good to hear. John says, can't wait for the release of Pigman. I can't either. Again, I feel a new burst of life for Pigman, all due to Comicsgate, flat out. I mean, you guys have been fantastic. You guys cleaned me out to the point where now I'm basically discontinuing printing of my books because I'm like, I don't know. Unless there's great demand, I got rid of boxes. So unless there's great demand, I'll just leave them out of print for now, but I still have all the files. I still have all the things. So if there's demand, I'll definitely do that again. Because right now it's Islam Bitches is out. My Mama Cartoons Volume 2. I have a number of copies of those. Peaceful Death Threats Volume 2 will be out in three more copies. I'm selling 3 more. If anyone's interested, I got 3 left. That's it. And if there's a lot of interest, these will be out of print. So it's a chance to get them now. It's at the top of my store. Check it out, bossfawson.com. Sadiq Khan, scumbag indeed. Piece of shit. The mayor of London. Yep. Farage, absolutely Farage, a piece of shit. Ugh. Porkon says, given Pigman is one individual and there are nearly 2 billion Muslims, will it be eventually expanded to happening team? That's the thing. And I make it very, 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 very clear. You need not fight Muslims. You don't. You fight the jihadists and the Muslims will submit. They'll be like, all right. You fight those who are the most devout Muslims, not all Muslims. But there is a moment in time where something does happen. He's out of commission. Let's just say that. What does he mean? He's dead? You'll find out. And something has to replace him for a little time at least. And then we'll see what happens at the end. Alistair, the eggplant scene, exactly. Hilarious. Evening, Lux. Hamilton, howdy. Hamilton said, what's a good way to get started writing stories? So many ways, but I don't know. Things that interest you. Flat out, things that interest you. Things that strike you, things that happen in real life or whatever in your imagination that you got to get out. You got to get it out, right? And that's it. Things that really interest you. Things that put a fire under you that you have to do. You have to do, regardless of your circumstances, regardless of the fact that you have a day job and whatnot, you got to do it. That's how simple as I answer that question. I can't get into specifics because I don't know. But the point is, what's a good way to get started writing stories? Writing stories that you feel have to be written. That's really it. Lux, I guess I'm ready for Pigman, I believe. Awesome. Tarks9, Hell Comics Gate. Thanks for being here, guys. I just got off the stream with Ethan for his launch for that 1 week program, which is awesome. RBM Entertainment, are you going to go on whoever is going to stream the certification and votes tomorrow? Probably. I'd like to. The shenanigans will be played. Who knows to what extent? But you're going to have some rhetoric at least on the left. Rhetoric at least. But they're licking their wounds right now. They are in disarray. They got their ass kicked in ways that they never dreamed of getting their asses kicked. Never dreamed. I mean, Trump just wiped them out. Trump and his whole crew. Wiped them out. So, thanks, Hamilton. Yeah, I just, that's a simple thing. The details, that's up to you. Whether you want to, read books on writing, Robert McKee's story. It's a great, forget the bullshit about it. Oh, it's cookie cutter bullshit. Yeah, whatever. Read it, understand it, go through it. You'll come to understand that this is good. This is good advice. Linda Cowgill, The Art of Plotting, one of the best books. And the way I know is that I've read so many books on writing, right? And by the time I'm done with them, I can tell the gold that they had in there by how much I jot down in there. And Linda Cowgill's book, it was filled with red to the point where it looks like a bloody mess. And I'm like, that's how I knew. This woman got me. She really made me think about story in a way that some other writers didn't. And as every book I read on writing, there was some nugget of value, some truth, but just some far more than others. Ayn Rand's transcripts of her discussions about writing are very good as well. But my favorite is, if I were breaking it down to two, is Robert McKee, and not just a storybook, and now he has dialogue and action, books on action and stuff, but story is the one, and then also Linda Cowgill, The Art of Plotting. And don't ever underestimate the art of plotting and how important plotting is. And I know people, it's fashionable to say, oh, plot is not important, it's all about character. Bullshit. Action, plot is character. You can develop character through the circumstances that they find themselves in and so on. But the best way I was able to get the most out of Robert McKee's courses, which were very intense 3-day courses, 12 hours a day. You sit there and you just take in all this massive information, is you have a concrete story in mind. So all the abstractions that he talks about gets funneled into your story, to your concrete story. And you start to appreciate more what he's saying because you understand when he's talking about this hero, he's thinking about your particular hero. Well, you're thinking about your particular hero. And that's how you can really, I think, have a great way of, and when you read the book also, story, Robert McKee's story, everything is all his abstractions get funneled to the concrete characters of your story. And you get to understand your story a little better, a little deeper. And that's what you want. You want to be obsessed with it. I mean, I think, if you're not obsessed with it, I don't think it's worth writing. Shane said, in the stream we just did, like, this might be the most difficult comic he's drawn. Well, I can't wait for it then. It's like, okay, the one I'm doing right now, I got to say, I think I'm giving more effort to this than maybe anything. It's not because I didn't think the other ones were worth it, but I'm at a point now where I'm getting deadly serious about my craft to the point where it's like, okay, I want to leave something of weight. I want to be very, very proud of my legacy. It's like, okay, this is going to be there. And it might sound highfalutin, but it's important to me. You want to do the best work you can and you want to put it on your shelf and be proud of it. Stephen Smith says, how does Pigman cook his bacon? He just cooks it, normal on a pan, fries it with some ghee, okay? Some ghee, okay? Porcon said the publishing deal fell through because the publisher I was meeting with was killed on a double-decker bus. I don't know what you're referring to here. Are you joking or what the? I don't know. Sounds crazy. Thanks, Peter, guys. Do appreciate it. I'll be here for another minute. Any other comments, questions, let me know. Always appreciate these give and takes. Hail, Alpha channel, hail. You guys got any more? I'll be here for a few minutes. Just shoot away. But again, reminder, I got 3 copies left only. It'll be out of print after this unless there's great demand. And, sometimes there is, but as of right now, I think this has lived its life on the shelf for now, at least. So check it out, guys. All right. 3 left. It's the last 3. It'll be out of print. Stormtrooper Julius Caesar says, Malin says the same this about Godlike, same with Ethan on Cyberfrog. If you could expand on that, Stormtrooper, I'm assuming the immersion, the passion, the Linda, okay, Hamilton Burger, Linda Cowgill, Chow J, Linda Cowgill, Cowgill, Linda Cowgill, The Art of Plotting. It's just one of those books that I picked up. I picked up, things that looked interesting, that looked promising, and they end up, a lot of them, again, are forgettable in a lot of ways. What was it? Linda Cowgill, Hamilton. Linda Cowgill, The Art of Plotting. It's great. It's great. And again, the way I'm able to tell is I take more notes on them, and I have my writing books, these big fat books and there's something about taking these notes from your books you read, right, and writing them by hand in the book. You retain the information more that way. Naturally. Okay, Stormtrooper, yes, meaning their best work. Absolutely right. They're more personally invested. There's nothing like being the ultimate quality control guy. Time-wise, right? You give the book the time that it requires. And they take longer. That's just the way it is. But you have more invested. Let's see. Magic Me says, did you see this stuff about the New Orleans asshole going to Canada and Egypt? I heard about Egypt, not Canada. Curious how these international radicalization networks work. I heard about the Egypt visit. Yeah, I did hear about that. So Hamilton, again, it's, yes. Oh, okay, you got it. Linda Cowgill, The Art of Plotting. Again, I've read, I don't know, so many books because I wanted to understand the story. To me, I'm not going to go into that. What's more important as a cartoonist to me, writing and drawing is one. It's one. I don't separate them. Right now, I'm doing some cutting in the penciling stage of the writing for the script that I did. In the penciling stage, I'm like, you know what? I can do without that. So as I'm doing it, I'm writing visually right here. So it's like I don't separate those two. But if you ask me flat out, in the writing stage, there is a writing stage, and that is the most important because, again, everything else is reliant on that. That's the original source of the quality of the book. If the writing sucks, it doesn't give a shit how good you can draw at all. You look at some of the best comics out there, usually they're made by an individual. The quality control is there. Frank Miller was doing Dark Knight Returns, and it was late. It was late, right? According to monthly comics, but well worth the wait. And the story got better and stronger as it proceeded. The art got a little more wonky, but it's okay. It's an epic work. So it's worth it. It's like, oh, all right. And plus it's one single vision, writing and drawing it. There's something about that. And that's why the CG books, that's the ones that I'm most interested in. And I just can't wait to sink my teeth into some of these books that I backed. Stephen Smith says, will there ever be an English edition of your illustrated Quran with Kari? I don't know. These things are very tough sells for publishers, I would love it. I would love to see that in English. I absolutely would. But it's a tough sell, And just to show you an example that it's a tough sell is that I guess the biggest network in Denmark interviewed me on the radio about the book and about my work, and they were to publish a transcription of my interview and then said no. And I was pissed. I was pissed because they agreed to it. They told me this. We did the interview. It was on radio there, but also transcribe it. And eventually they did. A little too late, though, at a certain point. And one of the guys protested. The guy who worked there. He said, this is a compromise. This is a compromise with evil. And I really appreciate that. So I don't know. I hope so. I have my copies. Unfortunately, two of them came and they were damaged. Water damage. It sucks. So I have one that's good. One that's good. You know what? 1 second, guys. I'm going to show you. This is what Stephen Smith was mentioning. I did this illustrated Quran. I did about a dozen drawings on the inside, double page spreads. I did the cover, which is an image inside there. It is of paradise, the Islamic paradise, with the houris. That's what they're called, the quote-unquote 72 virgins. The houris, and they have non-alcoholic wine. So stupid. The inside front cover. Allah. I drew Allah. I drew Jesus. I drew demons and this and that. I drew myself and Kare in the credits. Another Muhammad, Moses, and here was another Muhammad. It's basically and Allah. It's Muhammad in the cave, and this is how Allah came to him. From his mind. It was his imaginary friend. That's what I was trying to convey there. And I'll just show you a few of these images. It was a hell of a thing to do this. This was hell. Hell of a thing to do this. This is another image of Allah in Islamic heaven with the very violent angels with a bow and arrows killing some demons. And the angel Gabriel. You got Moses parting the seas because again, they ripped off of. Okay, this is also another one where they said that wasn't Jesus. Jesus ascended to heaven. Okay, that wasn't the real Jesus. That was an imposter, according to the Quran. According to the Quran. Again, that's the cover, but that's without any words or anything. And also, if you notice, I also drew the boys as beautiful as pearls, as they're described in the Quran, which is something almost a wink, wink, nod, nod to the homosexuals in the area to say, hey guys, you get 72 virgins, but also you might get some beautiful boys in there. When the Jews were turned into they were the descendants of apes and pigs, so I drew that as well. So it was really interesting, and it's so funny. This came to be because Kyrie was looking for an artist to do this for years. I didn't know that. I would have jumped at it. So he just tried again, put the word out there, and I saw it, and I contacted him. He goes, "Yeah, that was it. That's all he needed." Because can you believe it? For years he was trying to look for artists. No one was actually willing to do it. And I said, "What the hell?" I said, "I do this anyway. So why not? Why not get paid for it?" Porcon says he was on the London Tube. Yes, when the bombing happened in 2005. Yes, train I was on got bombed. I was in the carriage next to the main damaged one. My publisher was on bus. My God, okay. I didn't know that. I don't think you mentioned it before. That's horrific. I remember I was in San Diego Comic-Con when that hit. It was July. I don't know when the date was, but I remember it was July of that summer, 2005. I think 50 human beings were wiped out. Jesus Christ. Alpha Channel says, sorry about that. That sounds, it's just horrific. I mean, knowing people, I knew customers. I used to work in a restaurant where I did my book Table for One, but who were regular customers. They died in the Twin Towers, It's horrific. Alpha Channel says, I loved Chris Vogler's storytelling too. Chris Vogler, I know the name. Sorry. She was on her way to meet me. Oh my God, poor cunt. It's horrific. Jesus Christ. Whew. Sorry about that. Hey, Stephen. Thanks for streaming, Bosch. Good night. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks, guys. I always get, I guess, premature. Okay, guys, I do got to go, but I always appreciate it. Steven says, put the link to the interview transcript on your socials, please. I got to find it. You know what? I was banned from Twitter years ago. Now it looks like I'm banned from Facebook, and it wasn't Facebook. And I don't know where the hell else it would be, to be honest. I don't know, but it was the most dominant media outlet in Denmark. It was a few letters. You could look at it. It was published eventually, and it's really good. Okay. Yes, Stephen. Good. I'm glad you saw it for the first time. It's really, again, it's one of those things that you're just proud to have on your shelf. It's you do the best work you can, and you put it out there, and it's like awesome. July 7th, Alistair said, okay, July 7th, yes. Yep. July 7th, the atrocity in London bombing. Magic Me says, thanks again for your courage in streaming, Bosch. It gives me the courage to start talking about the threat of Islam and gave shout-outs to check out your work. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. You're very, very kind. Thank you. Stormtrooper Julian Caesar says, I'd like to see you and Mike Barron work together. Love Mike. I love Mike. Mike's great. He's a very generous guy. He's very kind, too. Man, I read his Punisher and Flash and Star Wars and all those comics. Great stuff. Maybe. I don't know if I can work with. It's so funny. I'm very miserly when it comes to my work and what I. I was even I got an opportunity to adapt a book years ago, and I was doing it with someone, and I was like, I'm far more motivated here and far more so than the person. So I don't know. It wasn't really that great. But now I'm adapting all of my own. I'm being deferred to, which is much appreciated because I know what I'm doing, and those who hired me, that's why they hired me, because I know what I'm doing. And I tend to write, pencil, ink, letter, color, self-publish, ship out everything I do. Everything. There was no comics of me out there being inked by anyone else or colored by anyone else. I've done it all. And there's something about that I just love. And, every line is mine. It rises or falls on me. There's something to be said about that. Steven says, last question, will any of those illustrations submitted for the contest you were holding in collaboration with Heart Builders ever see light? I don't know, at least the ones you liked. Can you do a stream of those? I did like a few of those, and I'll see, but I don't know because it's like that's so far behind the rearview mirror almost. It was like, And also, I gotta say, to be blunt, I was a little upset about that because I was announced as the judge. I got more shit than I ever got in my entire life. I got thousands of death threats just because of that. Not because of my mama cartoons, but just being picked as the judge. They lost their shit for some reason, more than ever. And I'm like, okay, at least let's see this through. Out of the blue, Herrick Wilders calls me 3 o'clock in the morning. I happen to be up. I'm not usually up that late, but I was. And we spoke, and he told me that his security team did not expect that kind of, those kind of threats, the level of those threats. There were so much that they couldn't deal with it. And I spent the last an hour trying to talk him down and say, look, this is why I do what I do. This is why you do what you do. I anticipate them going nuts. So what? Fuck them. It's about us. It's not about them. It's about our freedom. It's not about what they threatened to do to us. To me, it's a life or death issue. You know, I would die for free speech. Without free speech, what the hell are we? We're not the civilized people anymore. We're not. We might as well be an Islamic hellhole. So, I don't know. We'll see. But again, I still have that bad taste in my mouth about that because, and again, I respect Herrick Wilders out of all politicians for speaking the truth about Islam. But God damn it, we should have stuck to our guns and held on to that. And because they invited me to go to The Hague in the Parliament in the Netherlands and go there and give a speech on free speech, draw Muhammad in the middle of my speech, and then announce the winner. And it was my first opportunity to go to Europe. I'd never been to Europe before. So it was like, I would love to have done that. What an excuse to go to Europe for the name of free speech. Beautiful. Porkin says the POS in the carriage started screaming about Jews before he detonated. My God. Oh, man, it must have been fucking horrifying. Doc Brewski says, 46 watching. Excellent. Keep building the channel, Bosh. I am. I'm really enjoying this. Thanks. That's very cool. That's not bad, believe it or not. In terms of live, me with my small channel, hey, no complaints. Thanks so much. Alpha channel, never, ever compromise. Absolutely right. Never. Guys, you take care. Be well. Always a pleasure. I will see you guys. Can you believe it's almost been an hour? I mean, I'm like, wow. Holy shit. Anyway, guys, you take care of yourselves. Be well. Here's to a great 2025. A great 2025. It might be, personally speaking, one of my biggest years career-wise. I can't wait to get it all out there for everyone to see. You take care. Be well. Take care, guys. Later, Jeremy. And one last thing before you go. If anyone, 3 more of these, top my store. Only 3 left. They will be out of print at that point, so snap them up. You guys take care. Be well.